Hi guys, Forgotten Wolf here, and this is what if Tywin Lannister recognized Arya Stark while they were at Harrenhall. For those who don't know, Tywin and Arya spent most of Season 2 together, and Tywin caught Arya in a line in Origins, but he didn't connect the dots to realize that Arya was actually Arya Stark. But before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe, and now let's begin. Uh, Now in this hypothetical what if universe, Tywin Lannister, the Hand of the King, realizes that Arya Stark is Arya Stark and throws her into a cell and keeps her with him since he wouldn't trust his kids with keeping Arya captive since she escaped from Cersei in Season 1. But now, moving on to the actual changes, Gendry will stay in Harrenhal in Season 2, and he won't leave because Arya herself won't be able to help her escape. And yeah, Arya will end up in King's Landing at the end of Season 2, captive there after the Battle of Blackwater Bay. Since Tywin is in King's Landing, although there's a chance Sansa and Arya reunite in Season 2, I think it's far more likely they save the reunite this for Season 3. So in 300 AC or Season 3, Sansa and Arya reunite, but more importantly, Robb Stark will find Gendry when Robb takes Harrenhal with Tywin not there. Gendry knows he is Robert Baratheon's bastard by this point, and Catelyn can confirm that since she knew Robert in his youth from the wedding of Ned and Cat. With Robb finding Gendry and Renly dead and Stannis a traitor, I think there's a good chance that Robb makes Gendry a Baratheon instead of being Daenerys, and this makes Gendry true heir to the throne and king of the Six Kingdoms since Robb is king of the North. Gendry won't live long forever, however, because he killed at the Red Wedding, as Tywin doesn't want more contenders for the throne. Moving on to some small changes, the Tyrells will now plot to marry Arya to Larys and have Sansa killed. The Hound will also be a sellsword since he wants gold, and he will make his way to the Vale since Littlefinger pays for sellswords. In Season 4, 301 AC, there will be some more minor changes. The first change is Brienne and Podrick will not be sent to find Arya since he's in King's Landing. However, we know that Podrick will leave King's Landing since Tyrion instructed Podrick to leave, and Podrick is loyal. So my guess is that Podrick will end up joining the Night's Watch. And moving on to the major changes, with Joffrey dead and Sansa a criminal, there's a huge chance that Arya will end up marrying Larys Tyrell and Highgarden, meaning the Tyrells have the North, and Arya can marry since she'll be the same age as Sansa was when Sansa bled and Sansa could have kids. So that also probably means that Arya can have kids now. Meanwhile, Brienne served Catelyn Stark, so there's a good chance Brienne will go with Arya to Highgarden and serve as Arya's personal guard/trainer to fight. The Hound, meanwhile, arrives at the Vale, and there's a good chance that Littlefinger will pay the Hound to kill Lysa Arryn instead of Littlefinger himself. Sansa will testify that it was Sandor Clegane who killed Lysa Arryn, so there is a good chance that the Hound goes over east to serve Daenerys or becomes a sellsword in Essos. Either way, he's probably still going to end up with Daenerys. Some important plot points this season, but Season 5 we pick up. Season 5 we're 302 AC, I believe. It'll be a huge season for the Tyrells. I think there's a good chance that Arya will give Larys a son and an heir, and I will call him Willis Tyrell. Go look up the book character if you want the inspiration. We are back now, as Larys will march on King's Landing because Marjorie is in prison. There will definitely be an earlier time than in the actual Game of Thrones because Larys is less patient than Mace. After Marjorie is freed, I think there is a good chance that Larys and the Tyrell army will go up north to claim Winterfell. Meanwhile, up north, Stannis will still lose the Battle of Ice, but Brienne isn't there to kill Stannis since she isn't trying to free Sansa, which means Stannis will live and go back to the Wall of Melisandre. After the Battle of Ice, the Boltons will have another army marching on Winterfell, this time being the Tyrells. With a more rested and superior force, I think there's a good chance that the Tyrells win and the Boltons are all dead. The Northern Lords, however, will not be happy with the Southerners sitting as Warden of the North, even though technically it's Arya. Larys Tyrell and the Tyrells still control the North. We also get to see Sansa and Arya reunite for a second time now. As remember, Sansa was already in Winterfell with the Boltons. While Stannis and Melisandre arrive at the Wall, we still get to see Jon Snow die to end Season 5. In Season 6, it's a huge season for the North. Everything south stays the same, but when Jon Snow's arrived, there's a good chance that Stannis will make him a Stark to win over the Northern Lords, which will work since Jon is from the North as well. It's at this point that I should mention that Sansa probably still has tried to escape, but it fails since the Boltons ruled the North. But this is important because when word reaches Sansa, Arya, and Brienne of Jon coming for Winterfell, there's a good chance they're probably going to try and escape again, since Arya obviously won't really like her husband Larys, and Sansa won't feel safe. And with Theon's help, I think this time it succeeds, since the Tyrells don't know the North. Sansa, Brienne, and Arya's child, who I early named Bullis Tyrell, arrive at Stannis' camp, and this leads to the second Battle of Winterfell, where this time Stannis wins and we get to see Jon, Sansa, Arya, and Rickon all reunite. Rickon lives, by the way, since the Umbers won't hand him over, and Jon won't be named King of the North as the Northerners is bent to Stannis. Stannis will make Arya's son Willis Tyrell the new Lord of Highgarden, since Larys will die. Moving on, Jon and Daenerys won't meet yet, but the raid beyond the wall will still happen. I still think everyone will survive. Daenerys is in severe need of allies, since with the Tyrell army gone, there is a huge chance that Jaime will go to move to Cassidy Rock to defend Cassidy Rock. Hold on. Never mind. They won't even need to send 1,000 men, since the whole Tyrell army will be broken up north, and Jaime will try to defend Cassidy Rock, and he will be defeated by the Unsullied. Following this revelation, Queen Cersei will order the Freys, who are still alive, since Arya can't kill them, down south to King's Landing to join the Lannister army. I will say, following the Freys leaving their home, I think Jon is still beyond the wall, so there's a good chance maybe Arya or Brienne get to lead the capture of the twins, or probably Stannis himself. But we get to see the Starks enacting their revenge. And now the council against the realm against the White Walkers will end the same result, with Dany coming to Winterfell, but Jon doesn't bend the knee. In Season 8... I should mention, by the way, Daenerys still has all 3 living dragons. In Season 8, Stannis will die in battle against the White Walkers, along with Melisandre, and as it resolved Daenerys saving Winterfell, the Starks will bend the knee to Daenerys. Bran is still there, and Daenerys will learn about Jon's true identity and still burn down King's Landing, possibly with both dragons, so it'd be even more devastating. I do still think that Jon will kill Daenerys and get himself sent to the wall, but moving on afterwards, Bran is king, Rickon Stark is king in the north and Lord of Winterfell, while Arya loses her son, not to the White Walkers, but as he goes off to Highgarden, and Bronn becomes Lord of Storm's End, since Tyrion needs to pay him out, and Gendry is dead. In case you're wondering about Arya stays in Winterfell, I think. And now that is all from this What If. And the next one will be, what if Robb Stark married Margaery Tyrell? But until then, bye!